to Morning Drew, the podcast about self-reflection, appreciation, and joke writing. It's me, Andrew, aka Tank. How are you doing? I'm doing A-okay. Certainly better than last week. This has been quite the week for ya boy. As mentioned in the last several podcasts, as well as on every social media I have, and to everyone I can talk to, I've been fully vaccinated. I got both doses of the Pfizer, and the second dose really gave it to me, man. I tell you what, I got whooped. Last week was a precautionary measure because I was anticipating feeling bad, and I'm quite glad I did because, yeah, I felt like shit. I got it handed to me. I got the vaccine on a Tuesday, and I felt okay throughout the day. By around midnight, I started to develop a pretty nasty headache, and then it was all downhill from there. I was up most of the night, and the following day, just getting all shitty. By around 6 p.m. the following day, I was feeling a lot better. I ate a pizza. It was scrumptious. Papa John's has like the big cheeser. I'm here to tell you, it was pretty dang cheesy. Yeah, the following day, I just hopped right back on the horse. I was feeling better. And we're back. I feel quite good. I'm just tired because on top of last week's escapades, I'm also back to working at the restaurant, which is pretty physically demanding, I'm realizing. It could just be that I'm out of shape because I spent the last year sitting in different spots in my house. But I work a shift at the restaurant, and I'm fucking blitzed, dude. My shit's aching. You know, I try not to just immediately go to sleep. I try to at least have a day. And then I also try to write some jokes and perform and stuff. But it ain't easy, man. Like today I fell asleep. I was going to record this earlier in the evening, and it's already after midnight. We getting it in there, boys. We're getting back into it. So, just me, as you can tell. These last couple weeks have been interesting. So, let's just jump right on into it then there, huh? Last week, I touched on my desire to play Pokemon Platinum. I decided I've given them enough of my money and that I shouldn't feel bad using other means that are available to me. So I acquired an emulator and I have been playing Pokemon Platinum. God damn it. And it's been fun so far. I have not gotten very far. It's fun to just play in little 20-minute, 30-minute bursts. I guess I'm just so used to binge playing my games for hours at a time that just playing for a few minutes at a time feels disingenuous, but I'm enjoying it. I've decided that I'm going to try to do a blind Nuzlocke. I'm taking on that big challenge. I've been told it's pretty difficult, but, you know, if I lose, then I'll lose. It's fine. I've played enough Pokemon. And maybe I'll try again, not a Nuzlocke if I realize I'm in a little too deep, but I don't know. Nuzlocking to me is very fun. To those not familiar, a Nuzlocke playthrough of a Pokemon game is where you can only catch one Pokemon per area in the game. For example, if you're on a route, or if you go into a town, or if you go into a cave, you are only allowed to catch one Pokemon per each of those areas. You must give it a nickname so that you grow a personal attachment to it. And when a Pokemon faints, it's dead forever. It goes either in a graveyard box in the PC, or you release it if you're extreme, but you cannot use that Pokemon any longer. And it can be very difficult, especially if you find yourself in a pinch or if you're playing recklessly. Not only does it make the experience more difficult, it actually shows off parts of the game that I would have otherwise missed if I was going through with just my over-leveled starter Pokemon. You know, disclaimer, I've never actually finished a Nuzlocke. I've gotten pretty far. I've also never outright lost one. It's just, you know, one of my important Pokemon dies, and I get really frustrated and just end up putting it down. Like my very first Nuzlocke that I ever tried, I mistakenly tried on Pokemon Yellow, and my Pikachu died, and I didn't know what to do. That game, your Pikachu gets real grumpy at you if you put it in the PC or don't use it, and it just made me sad, so I stopped. And then I tried on Let's Go Pikachu, just for fun. It requires some rule modifications, but it's such an easy game that I was like, I mean, I'm just here to have fun. It's quarantine, baby. I was doing pretty good, but as I touched on a moment ago, there are some parts of the game that I never knew about because I was just blasting through trainers with my overleveled Pikachu. What happened was I had purchased the Magikarp outside of Mount Moon, thinking that I would grind it up to a Gyarados, and then I would have just one of the best Pokemon in the whole game early in the playthrough. I did get Gyarados. I leveled him up, and I got him around the time that I left, what's it called? The spooky town. Lavender Town. I had gotten my Gyarados around Lavender Town, I think before there actually, but it was in between Lavender Town and Celadon City, I think it's called, where Erica's gym is, that I came into a trainer named The Gambler. And like I said before, I would just blow through this path, but because the circumstances were different, I had my Gyarados in front. The Gambler threw out a Seaking, and I should have known better, but the Gambler's whole shtick apparently was that all of his Pokemon used one-hit knockout moves. In this specific case, he used Horn Drill, and the thing with that move is it only has a 1 in 3 chance of hitting, so its accuracy is very low, but if it hits, your Pokemon faints, it dies. And that's exactly what happened. My Gyarados got fucking blasted like shortly after I had acquired it, after leveling it up, which was extremely disheartening, and I was very mad, and I stopped playing. And that's Nuzlocke, baby. So I'm trying it on Platinum. We'll see. Like I said, people say it's really difficult, but I think it'll be fun. I've never played through the Gen 4 games, as I mentioned, so I think it will be interesting, and it will allow me to have a diverse team. This generation in particular is notorious for having, like, the default team of 6 that everyone ends up with. Off the top of my head, I think it's your starter. I chose Piplup, the little penguin lad. I think most people end up with Chimchar, which evolves into Infernape. But I went with Piplup, which evolves into Empoleon. And they end up with a Luxray, and a Staraptor, and a Garchomp, and Lucario, and one more. So we'll see. I've never had the privilege or the honor of using that team. So that's been fun. What else have I been up to? As I mentioned many weeks ago, I've kind of had my eating and diet and such kind of locked in. I would very much like to lose some weight. For health reasons, sure. For aesthetic reasons, sure. But above all else, like, I just feel kind of heavy and sluggish, and I just want to be able to move around easy, and I want to fit in my nice clothes that I own, that I spent so much money on and have so much appreciation towards. So I'm eating a lot less than normal, and the plus side to being back to work is that it's pretty physically demanding, so I'm burning calories, and so far so good. I've lost like 10 pounds. Weighing one's self every day. It's been a positive experience for me, but it definitely can be disheartening sometimes because one's weight fluctuates naturally. It's interesting to see how my weight fluctuates just based on what I eat. Like, for example, if all I have to eat is just some hot dogs, and so I just eat like 2 naked hot dogs and whatever else, some nuts, and the next day I weigh a pound heavier, and it's like, I don't know if I even ate 500 calories yesterday. How is this literally possible? And it's like, well, you ate those salty lads, and you retained a lot of water, and you're a pound heavier somehow. And it's like, this is stupid. But it's a reminder to drink water and to not eat fucking plain hot dogs like a doofus. But we're sticking to it. Like I said, I took that one day off where I had that pizza, but, you know, the circumstances were, I think, fair. All that to say is that I have found that it's nice to have just lunch meat around, like turkey, because it's a nice little low-carb snack if I'm feeling hungry and I don't have time available to me, or if I'm too tired to make something. Couple slices of turkey, maybe dip them in something. It's a good time. I liked the turkey from Costco that they had, but yesterday Angela ended up getting some turkey from Target, and the turkey she got had 2 grams of carbs per serving, and some. I feel kind of bad. I gave her I gave her some sass about it. I was just like, man, come on. If I eat a bunch mindlessly, I might go over my daily limit. So I would have to like weigh it out with an actual scale and stuff. And in hindsight, it was I don't know. I think I might have just been in a bad mood or something. I was just being irritable. So Angela, I apologize publicly on this forum that I've created. Today when I got home, I took a look at that turkey. I did the math. The whole entire package is only 9 grams of carbs. So I was like, I was being a little brat. So I had a few slices and fucking, it's the best turkey, man. It's just oven roasted turkey from Target. It's the Good Market Pantry, whatever their brand is. It's fantastic. It's the best turkey I've had. It is the turkey that reminds me most of. Oh man. So let me backtrack a little bit. Let me take you back. Hardin Middle School. Salinas, California's own Huskies of Hardin Middle School. Your boy's there. He's husky. You know it, boys. Sometimes I have a sandwich brought from home. Most of the time I end up buying food there. They've got like box pizzas and they've got food there to purchase, which I usually end up doing. I have a buddy named Justin. Shout out Justin, who this day in particular brought a sandwich from home. And I don't know the circumstances surrounding this exchange happening, but somehow I traded some food that I had purchased for his sandwich. I don't know if it was the whole thing or just half the thing. Maybe I did like half a pizza for half a sandwich or something. I don't exactly remember the trade. I do remember the sandwich looking right and having the desire to eat the sandwich. So we did that. And it was, up to that point, the best sandwich I had ever had. And it was so simple. It was just a hoagie roll with turkey and mayo and yellow cheese. I assume American cheese. It was just so, like, the turkey was so soft, but the bread was so dense and taut and chewy. And that mayo was so rich and creamy. And that American cheese was so gummy. And I was like, Justin, this is the best fucking sandwich I've ever had. He was like, yeah, man, my mom makes good sandwiches. And I was like, dude, I will buy these sandwiches from you if you keep bringing them. And Hardin Middle School at the time had a currency known as Husky Bucks. So if you got good grades on a test, or you got good attendance, or if you helped your teacher move the projector or something, they would pay you in Husky Bucks, which is just Monopoly money, essentially. And you could trade in Husky Bucks for like fucking pencils, notebooks. The school had like a built-in Scholastic book fair where you could go buy school supplies, and they had like colorful erasers, and you could buy Care Bears there. I remember one year for a holiday, I bought each of my 2 siblings a Care Bear, and I think you could exchange Husky Bucks for fun things there. I don't remember if you could exchange them for food. You probably could if you had enough, but I know that for the first couple of transactions, I purchased my friend Justin's sandwiches from him in the form of Husky Bucks. And this didn't last long. This was maybe over the course of 3, maybe 4 days tops, where that day we made the exchange. The next day I paid him in Husky Bucks for his sandwich. And I think the following day his mom made him 2 sandwiches or something, and we had another exchange, so that way he got his sandwich and I got a sandwich. I paid him for it. I think I did end up paying him like real American cash for it. And then eventually a day came where he was like, hey, my mom said she's not going to make me extra sandwiches anymore, and she told me I cannot sell you my sandwich. And I was not devastated. For some reason in that moment as a kid, I was like, yeah, I get it. because I pictured me going up to my mom and telling them that I was selling people her sandwiches. And I realized that I was like, dang, your mom's cool for letting it get this far. Or maybe she just didn't realize the circumstances surrounding it. But, you know, I was not too upset, but I was also like, fuck, well, can you tell me what kind of turkey she uses? Or what? Because I want to tell my mom so she can start making me these sandwiches. And he never did, or maybe he did, and I just didn't understand what he was saying. Because I went to my mom and I was like, Mom, this dude, his mom's making the best sandwiches. And she was like, you don't like my sandwiches? And I was just like, it's not like that, Mom. Don't be like that. I love your sandwiches, but next time we go to the store, you gotta let me take a look around. Man, I just couldn't find the right stuff. My mom also has this habit, like she puts mustard on every sandwich she makes. I didn't have the nerve to tell her I straight up don't like the mustard. But whenever she asked, she would be like, Andrew, you like mustard, right? I was like, I'd rather not have mustard. And then there would be mustard on the sandwich. I would still eat them. The mustard was fine. I should say, I don't dislike. He was using like a spicy Dijon mustard, which for a middle schooler's palate, little much. Today as an adult, gimme. But at the time, I was like, chicken tenders dipped in ranch. Which I'm not knocking on now. Your boy loves a tendy, but I think you understand what I'm saying. And I never was able to do it. And this turkey that Angela brought home, this just fucking Target brand, it's the turkey. It's the one that Justin's mom used, or at least it's similar to it. Oh my God, I ate the whole pack. Oh, it was so good. I texted Angela too. I was like, I'm sorry, I was mean. One, because I was being a brat, and two, like this is my new favorite turkey. So that was exciting. It really took me down memory lane. I was like, dang, Justin was really selling me his sandwiches for a minute there, huh? Not for a lot. I think $2 maybe I was buying his sandwiches for him, which is probably another reason his mom was like, my sandwiches are worth more than $2, my man. Earlier today I was on YouTube doing my YouTube thing, and there was one occasion where I watched someone react to a song I like. I'm not a big fan of YouTube reactions because it's like, I don't know this guy or gal. Why do I care what they have to say about this song? Sometimes I do care because sometimes it's a true professional and it's like, oh, well, I know this song is good. Let me see this professional react to it and see what they have to say. But a lot of times it's just other people who also like music. And the thing with some of these reactions is they have people reacting to extreme songs outside of the genre that these people are used to. One song that really made the rounds in the reaction community, I guess. I'm not a member of this community myself. I don't exactly know much, but I've seen enough of the recurring faces. But one song in particular is a song called Kingdom by Devin Townsend. It's a really excellent song. And he is a really excellent musician. If you have the time to go search up Kingdom by Devin Townsend, there is a live in-studio performance of him that he does for EMG TV. It's so incredible. So, check that out because it's great. No spoilers. There are some unexpected moments, but as a result, there's one person who reacts to songs that I decided is one of my favorites. She is called the Charismatic Voice. She is very sweet and very likable and very open-minded and very knowledgeable and genuine, and I like her a lot. And so sometimes she'll react to a song that I like. She reacted to my favorite band, Blind Guardian, once. That was a cool moment. She dressed up in her Dungeons and Dragons outfit and listened to it because they have a lot of songs about dragons and orcs and hobbits. But this morning, she uploaded a reaction to this song, Painkiller by Judas Priest. And some of y'all know. If you don't know, let me learn you. I fucking love the song Painkiller by Judas Priest. I love Judas Priest. Judas Priest rips. But in particular, Painkiller, it's one of my favorite songs, period. Bar none. And not just because it fucking obliterates, it's so goddamn good, but it's also the song that I wrote my first ever stand-up comedy joke about. And it was fun watching her react to it because he does a lot of screaming and fry vocals and stuff, and she's just a tentative little lady just going like, oh my god, he screams, it's so vicious and cutting. But then she actually analyzes it, and she's just like, oh, it's interesting how he switches between blah, blah, these notes and these octaves. And anyway, yeah, so I listened to Painkiller. Oh my god, I love that song so much. And the joke I've retired because it's an old joke, and it's also, it's anyway. I'll go ahead and tell the joke for you if you haven't already heard it. Here we go. So, I was watching pornography on YouTube, and I was specifically using YouTube because I'm a very tame Christian Catholic, please be nice to me God lad. And so the level that I like is just scantily clad ladies, like little slideshow images of them. And YouTube had that for me, and I was happy to use it. So I'm laying in bed using that platform to watch that content, and one video comes up. The thumbnail gets me going, so I click it, and Painkiller starts out with the fucking crazy drum solo, the paparum 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 paparum, and I'm like, hold on, okay, what? Hold on. And the drum solo goes for a little bit, and then the guitar, the riff, the guitar riff is like, wow, and I'm just like, okay, hold on, what? Hello? And so I'm rocking out in bed, and then Robert Halford starts singing, and his first line is like a fucking demon from hell, man. And he's just like, faster than a bullet. Bro, I start rocking out in bed. I'm like doing a circle pit, running around, swinging my hair around. I'm like, yo, Painkiller. And the song's about 5 minutes. The 5 minutes go by, the song ends, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, yo, oh, I forgot to jack off. Judas Priest is the best. And so I go to Best Buy and buy their album. And that was my first joke. And I love that song. And so I was so happy to see someone reacting to it today. I have that album in my car somewhere. It's in one of those books of CDs. The album I bought was like a 2-parter. And I can't find part 2 because part 2 of that album has good stuff as well. Part 1 has Painkiller as well as a bunch of other songs that I really, really enjoy. I really like Judas Priest. But part 2 had some really good ones too. And maybe that's why I stopped, because I was like, I can't find the other one. Why? And I think I gave up because it became the future and Spotify is a thing. Recently in my car, the connector thingy between my phone and the car is not acting right. I don't know if it's the port itself, or if it's the auxiliary cord, or if it's the Apple dongle, or if it's the iPhone port itself, which I doubt, but there are so many mysteries and replacement parts involved that I've kind of just given up, and I either just listen to the music from my phone, or I listen to CDs, or I listen to nothing at all. So that's not really an option, so I should find where that CD is. Or fix my music setup, which I should, because my car is where I listen to maybe like 80% of the music in my life at the moment. So as you know, I'm part of a writing club called the Write 10 Club, brought to you by the Hot Breath Podcast Comedy Network. Please go check that out on YouTube or Facebook or wherever else podcasts are available. Shout out Joel Byers. But there is a member of the group named Holly. Her full name is Holly Ballantyne. And the cadence of her name reminds me of the song Call Me by Blondie. As you know, it's the one that's Call Me on the line, you can't. And so I see this woman's name, and I sing her name to the cadence of the song. It's fun, but then I realized, like, have I ever actually listened to that song in its entirety? And I hadn't, because I looked it up and I was like, oh, this song is fantastic. I like this song a lot. But the truth was that I had listened to it in its entirety before on the slowed down, like, sludge Alvin and the Chipmunks album. It's the very first track, which is probably why it's so popular, because it's, in my opinion, the only good song on that album. That song's great. Look it up. It's catchy. I tried to watch a live video of them playing it, but there are only videos of them as old people or middle-aged people or whatever, and it's not as good. Unless you can find an earlier version than 1982, because in 1982 they were old-ish. So if you can find an earlier version, man, more power to you, but otherwise just listen to the studio version. That's kind of all I have as to what... Oh, I never even said. Those are the things I'm digging, dude. So at this point, I would move on to my jokes. I have been writing jokes, but I have been concentrating much more on my personal material for stand-up comedy. As a result, I'm putting less energy into these one-liner and headline jokes, but I still have them. They're a good exercise for getting the brain juices flowing, and I even use some of the jokes I wrote in my act sometimes. In fact, I've told a few of them on the podcast here. I tell the omega-3 joke. I really like the melatonin joke. I think I almost have it. It's evolved a little bit, but it's in there. And I have a couple of others that I've used. But I have some jokes that I wrote recently, some fresh material for you all to consume. So, let's just go. I'm not going to tell you what the word of the day was. I'll let you guess, because there are a few rapid fire ones here where it's obvious what the word is. And I think it'll be fun for you guys to be like, oh, I guarantee you the word was blank. Yeah, let me tell you some jokes that I wrote this week. You can tell a lot about a person by how they take their eggs. My friend gets his sunny side up, and he's an optimist. My girlfriend gets hers scrambled, and she can be a bit scatterbrained. My uncle takes his with the whites only. I don't talk to my uncle. Here was one. They say poaching is illegal, but if they're going to all that trouble, why wouldn't they get a healthy eagle? Google Maps has a new feature that allows it to guide you through indoor spaces. I can finally Google where the applesauce is at Kroger. And it also seems like it will be the end of hide and seek, because now you can just Google where your friend is hiding. That Google Maps one is crazy. It's specifically supposed to show you the indoor spaces to like big popular things like airports, which is actually extremely clutch. I'm excited for that. And probably like arenas and stadiums and museums probably. Oh, that'll be cool. Yeah, that's going to be really cool. To me, the perfect cup of coffee is the one that's in front of me, baby. Oh, you gotta give me that morning juice. Gotta give me that morning sauce. Yeah. To a pitcher in baseball, a perfect game is throwing 0 hits. To me, though, a perfect game is whenever the Red Sox lose. I hate those guys. I hate the Sox. Get away from me. My mind is like a steel trap in that when there's enough pressure, it melts. 9/11. I'm a different type of steel worker in that I steal from work. This workout tape promised me buns of steel, but the only steel that happened was from my wallet. And this is the last one. My gay friend has a mind like a steel trap in that it was built to catch bears. Moving on. I like having my fortune told, because then if anything goes wrong, then hey, it ain't my fault. This lady with the silly hat made it happen. I'm so bad at predicting the future. I'm less of a Nostradamus and more of a Nostradumbass. I've never actually had my fortune told to me. I mean, I've seen plenty of psychics. They just never tell me anything fortunate. And this one is just a rehash of an old joke I used to tell. I like Ghirardelli chocolate because it looks like it was named after the sound my stomach makes when I've eaten too much of it. That's all the jokes I got, gang. That's all I wrote. In my defense, I was sick for a lot of this past week. And I've also been working a lot, and I've also been putting effort into other material for the stage, which has been fun. I've been doing like Zoom open mics and stuff. They're not terribly different from regular open mics. Just a bunch of doofuses that don't know what they're doing, except virtually. But Los Angeles seems to be on the right track. We're already knocking on the door to the orange tier of opening up, which would be nice. Live shows supposedly won't resume until we are not in a tier at all. I think green tier was what it was supposedly called, but there isn't even a green tier. That just means that we're out of the tiers and we can go back to normal. And there's no telling how long it'll be until then, which is a shame because I would like to do live comedy. I guess I could relocate somewhere to where they are doing it, like in fucking Florida or whatever, but I think I'm okay staying put for now and working with what I have available to me, and doing these Zoom shows are okay. I think I'm going to put a bow on this one, team. I think I'm going to land this plane. Thanks for listening. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for doing you. Do all the social media things if you are willing to. That would help keep the show alive. Not, I'm going to do it no matter what. Even if someone messages me and like, hey, Andrew, you suck. You're bad at it. You should not be doing this. I might tell him to shove it, but remember to continue drinking that wet stuff. The wet stuff? Which wet stuff? Are you talking about soda pop? No. Are you talking about Minute Maid lemonade? Fuck no. That stuff's horrible. Stop giving Minute Maid money. They don't make anything good. Zero of the drinks Minute Maid makes is good at all. What's the wet stuff I'm talking about? Drink water. Water is just so good for you. And if you don't like it, try putting a little lemon in there. That might just change your life.